Everybody, my name is Veronika and welcome back to my YouTube channel Wandery Helen. Today we are going to continue with our crochet school day, and today we are going to learn how to make a magic ring, increase, decrease, fasten off and much more. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow on all of our crochet tutorials. Now let's dive in. We are going to start with the magic ring. So we are going to take our yarn. I'm going to take it around my 2 fingers, turn around, okay? And here it needs to cross. And then I'm grabbing it with my pinky. Now I'm going to take my hook. I'm going to under the first yarn, grabbing the second yarn, pulling through. I am now turning over. And now I am going to grab the yarn that my pinky is holding, okay, and pulling through the loop. And this is magic ring. I am going to repeat it one more time, okay? So I'm going to grab my yarn like this, going around my 2 fingers, crossing here down. Now grabbing with my pinky the yarn, taking my hook now, going under the first yarn, grabbing the second yarn, pulling through. Now I am turning and grabbing the yarn that my pinky is holding and pulling through. And this is my magic ring. Actually, I'm going to do some simple single crochet, and then I will show you how to turn, how to, let's say, close the magic ring. Okay? So I'm going to make 8 single crochet into the circle. So this. I have my 8 single crochet, and now I am going to close magic ring, so then I can continue on in the circles with my specific pattern that I am currently working on. So now I'm going to grab this yarn and just pull tightly. Actually, I'm going to remove my hook so you can see it much more better. So now I am pulling tightly, okay? And now you see that I have my circle, okay? Usually what I am doing, I am putting in my first stitch, when I am doing in the circle, I am using a stitch marker like this. So actually when I am creating the first stitch, I am placing my marker in the first crochet. So then when I am working my project, I know where I am starting. And then I can go all the way through. I am going to show you and continue with the increase. So increase means that you are going to place 2 times the same stitch that you are working on. So for example, if you are working throughout the pattern with single crochet, usually where you are making plushies and amigurumi, you are usually working 2 increases of single crochet, which means you are placing 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. Let me show you. So I am going to remove my stitch marker. I'm going to place the hook. And now I am going to, into the first stitch, I will do my first single crochet, okay, and then I'm going to make another single crochet into the same stitch, okay. I'm going to show you how to do the decrease. Actually, I have changed the yarn because I think this one is better to show this off. So how to do decrease? So decrease again depends on what kind of pattern you are doing. If you are doing, for example, single crochet pattern for amigurumis, you will be doing again single crochet decrease. Or also it's called, so in your patterns you can have written decrease only, or for example single crochet 2 together, okay? So how we are going to do it is the following. So you are going to place your hook into the first chain. Now you are going to pull yarn, and instead of finishing your single crochet like you would normally do, you are not doing it. You are going to the second chain or second stitch, okay? Pulling yarn, and now you have 3 loops on your hooks, and you are pulling through the yarn, all of 3 of them. And this is how you do 2 single crochets together. So let's do it again. Now I am going to go to my chain, pull up the yarn, keep it here, and I'm going to the second chain, pulling up the yarn, pull through. Now I have 3 loops. I'm going to take the yarn and pull through all 3 loops. And this is how you would decrease your work. Okay, now I am going to show you how to make half double crochet. So what we are going to do is we are going to take yarn over our hook, placing it to the stitch, taking the yarn, pull through, and now I have 3 loops on my hook. And now I am going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of these loops. Okay, so that's why it's half double crochet, because it's something between single and double crochet. So let me show you again. I am yarning over like for a double crochet. Okay, now I am pulling through my stitch, pulling yarn, and now if I would be, for example, doing double crochet, I would be yarning over and pulling through only those 2 loops, then yarn over and pulling through the other 2 loops. But for the half double crochet, I am pulling through all 3 loops at the same time. So yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now let me show you the difference, how it looks like for double crochet. So now I'm going to do the double crochet, so then you see the difference. So double crochet is yarn over, I am going through the stitch, pulling through the yarn, pull over, now yarn over again, and as this is double crochet, I would go through first 2 loops, now yarn over again, and first 2 other loops. This is double crochet. Half double crochet is yarn over, pull through the stitch, take the yarn, pull through, and now you are just pulling through all 3 loops. So yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So basically 1 step less is for the half double crochet compared to double crochet. Okay, now we are going to continue with single crochet back loop. Now, when you are doing the standard single crochet, you are putting your hook through the both of the loops. So when you are creating your crochet, you always have 2 loops, as you can see, first and second. Standard single crochet, double crochet, or treble, you are going through always both of the loops. So when you are creating your crochet, you always have 2 loops, as you can see, first and second. Standard single crochet, double crochet, or treble, you are going through always both of the loops. Okay, first, second. When you have a back loop only, what you are going to do is you are going to the second, so to the line that is further away from you, and you are making a single crochet. So pull through the yarn, yarn over, and pull through both. And this is your single crochet back loop. The same way you would do your double crochet back loop. So you are going to yarn over, you are going through the back loop only, pull through the yarn, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through again. Okay? And this way you would be continuing all the way through. When it comes to the single crochet back loop, or let's say back loops in general, people are usually doing it to create certain ribbing. So in case you want to have like this kind of ribbing on your pattern, then you would be working all the way through in your back loop only. Okay, now we are going to continue with single crochet front loop. So actually it's the same like back loop, but instead of going to the back of your loop, you are going to your first loop. Okay, so the one that is closer to you, and then you are doing single crochet. The same way it's working for double, treble, and so on. So if you have a front loop only, then you are using the first loop. If you have the back loop, you are using the second one. Now imagine your project is done, and now you need to fasten off. Now, in order to fasten off, you can do 2 kinds of types. So I'm going to show you the first one and the second. So I'm going to just cut my yarn, and now the first type of the fasten off is you are just grabbing the yarn, like this into your fingers and pulling this yarn that you just cut and pulling through very tightly, okay? What this fasten off, let's say, is, let's say, advantages are, it's much more, from my point of view, let's say, stick, and it's very hard. You cannot basically, even if you're pulling whatever way you want, you cannot basically take it out and you cannot destroy your work. However, you see that it has little bit of bump. So instead of ending here, okay, ignore my beautiful creation here. It's creating a little bit bump. So for example, if you want to have very neat ending and it's really, let's say, narrow, then this kind of fastening off could be a little bit, let's say, you could see it. At least me, I am sometimes too much perfectionist, so I would probably see it. So for example, this kind of types I am using when I have my amigurumi. So I am just like, because I know that at the end I am weaving the, let's say, the yarn, the leftover yarn inside of the plushies and so on. But for example, this kind of ending I'm not using for when I was doing my bikinis, for example. So because I didn't like that bob in the end. Now I am going to show you the different style as well. Okay, now when it comes to the second one, so imagine you are ending like this. So for the second, actually it's very easy because you are just going to pull out the yarn and that's it, and you can tighten it up. However, so this one is very, very, let's say, smooth, and you don't see any bumps and so on because you are really exactly ending the where your last stitch ended. However, this one let's say I found sometimes that I can quite easily, if I am playing a little bit around, I can, let's say, pull it out and destroy my work. So really depends, but as I am saying, for example, this kind of style I am using for my bikinis and they were never destroyed. But sometimes, especially for certain types, I prefer the other way. So actually for me it depends, and also what kind of mood I am currently. I am changing from one type to the other type. So it's really up to you and what kind of types of the work you are currently working on. And that would be everything for today. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and please leave a comment of what you would like to learn as a next step. Until next time, happy crocheting!